Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose qualifiers. It's the America qualifier, Stage 1, Cup number 2, to find out which 2 more players are going to be moving on to Stage 2, as there are already 10 players there basically waiting for them. We just have to route it down from 6 more, 2 from today, 2 from tomorrow, and then 2 from the 4th of November.
That is correct. So we've got a lot of people going in to join the 8 invited players in that second stage. They'll be battling it out for 3 spots at Intel Extreme Masters San Jose. Of course, that gets all their travel, all of their hotel costs, as well as the fact that they go straight into group stage. And as Kalaris mentioned earlier, that bracket, the open stage, at least, can be very, very scary to try and get through. So going straight into groups is very, very nice. But yeah, this should be an awesome series we've got coming up next. It's going to be Intense versus JonSnow. A nice little bit of TVP. But yeah, Kalaris, why don't you tell people if they are in the States or want to fly, how they can get tickets to Intel Extreme Masters?
Yeah, it's true. You can actually join us in San Jose, of course. There's going to be a League of Legends stage and a StarCraft stage, but the StarCraft stage is the most important one, so let's not bother with the other game. As you can head over to intelextrememasters.com, and you can click on the very top near the little bar there where it says buy your San Jose tickets now, and then go and purchase them there. You can join myself and probably Apollo over there, and I'm no doubt Red Eye is going to be there as well, along with Carmack probably. He's normally there. I'm trying to think of who else I could probably say is going to be there, but it'll probably be confidential, so I'll not do that. Yep. There's a lot of good players, though, already qualified, as we had people like 4GG in there, people like Palt, who actually is the USA champion from the qualifiers going through. So definitely some good players going to be there, for sure.
Certainly. Kalaris is still looking because we're waiting for one player. He got all excited. We got game invites.
Yeah, but in the end, apparently, JonSnow is currently playing some Diamond Protoss player in the HSL, so now we have to wait for him to actually join on, as Intense is apparently waiting here in our first map lobby for Deadwing. But let's see actually what's actually going on in the bracket elsewhere.
I think we've got some quite cool stuff. I think everyone is now in round of... No, they're all in the quarterfinals. The only quarterfinal that isn't yet decided is Caliber versus Fog. And we saw Fog earlier on. He played some really awesome games, so that'll be interesting to see. Otherwise, Moose Gills is playing Believe, JonSnow Intense, and Bell's Ghost User. Yeah,
which means overall we have probably 2 series left in us today. This one, JonSnow versus Intense, and then later on, one of these guys going up against either Bales or Gosu User. And then down in the lower half of the bracket, it's Moose Gills and Believe going up against either BioIce, Caliber, or Fog, depending on the result of that one.
Yep.
So... still some good players left over here. People like Bales in there, people like JonSnow, Moose Gills, Fog showing some pretty good play earlier as well. Probably the favorites moving through. But Intense was actually in one of the final series last time around and lost to Betrayers.
Yes, he was. I'm going to try and get that up to find out exactly how that went. Yeah, so obviously we did have... Do we actually have anyone else coming through? Intense lost 2-1 to Betrayers. Dakon didn't take part today as far as I can see, or he got knocked out early. Otherwise, yeah, a lot of people we did see yesterday are battling through. Moose Gills was here, actually no, 2 days ago. Yesterday disappeared. We went out for Korean barbecue. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was good.
It was my first ever Korean barbecue.
Yeah, you tweeted that out after, actually, and I was kind of surprised. You never? Why have you never been to Korean barbecue?
Because, to my knowledge, I don't have a Korean barbecue near me in Nottingham.
Okay. Yeah, fair play. There's actually not that many in the north of England. I tried to look them up last time I was there for Christmas, and I was like, no, there's none. I'm like, why is England living without Korean barbecue? What is this?
You should start up a Korean barbecue. You go there enough, apparently.
I'm not sure. I'm Korean enough to start a Korean barbecue. But anyway, let's get into things. As game number 1 is on Deadwing, cross positions, as we have a previous, I guess you could call him finalist from our previous cup. It is Intense as our pink Terran. And up to the top left-hand corner, it is, of course, Mr. Solaris Gaming's JonSnow, bringing out some beautiful games and bringing some beautiful comebacks.
JonSnow? You do like saying JonSnow in a very strange way.
I've got a lot of different accents for saying snow in the end. I keep bringing out different ones, so there's a lot of English accents.
I can't do many English accents.
No?
I either come up as sounding... I can do a posh voice very well. I try and dumb it down, but I can't do a northern accent at all to save my life.
Well, again, a lot of people from England don't believe that I am from the north.
I don't. I still don't.
See? There you go.
It's a lie. You
My accent is not northern, to say the least, but I stayed away from that as much as possible because I did not want to sound like a farmer. No offense to farmers, because farmers are cool, and I had a lot of farmer friends. So yeah, so there you go.
Do you have a favorite farmyard animal?
I
know that's really random.
That is kind of odd. Yeah, that is kind of weird.
I grew up in the middle of the countryside, so like I spent a lot of time around farms.
Yeah, I grew up in the countryside as well.
I find cows the nicest. They're all inquisitive.
I guess so, but sheep, if you're near a field of sheep, they're kind of odd because there's always ones that just bar normally, but there's always one that sounds a bit special. And he's always the loudest. So that happens with sheep. They're kind of cool. But that's about it.
Anyway, StarCraft. Hatch first. Woo!
Totally fine on this map.
Yep.
Get away with a lot on this map.
It is against Terran as well, so it's not the craziest stuff. One Rax, one gas. We're probably going to be seeing a Reaper right about now. There we go, as the 50 gases hit. So this is normal, Kalaris. This is really, really, really normal.
Yeah. One thing to note about JonSnow's Overlord movement is that he did not send the first one through the middle of the map. Obviously, on a map like Deadwing, you can only spawn cross or horizontal. So he sent it straight down, and normally you actually see a lot of Zerg sending it through the middle of the map first to see if they can spot any like 2-Rax plays. So it gives me the idea that maybe JonSnow knows how Intense likes to play and wasn't really anticipating something like a 2-Rax coming out from him.
Do you remember the hilarious time when Deadwing did allow horizontal spawns?
Oh, I said horizontal. I didn't. Yeah, I should have said vertical. But
horizontal was absolutely hilarious. I remember a game. It was Stefano versus someone, and they just made like Tempest, 3 base Protoss, made Tempest laugh.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That'd be these bases are kind of close, so
it didn't work. Anyway, Reaper is not going to scout the right way first, going to carry on over, and should just start chipping away, but already Zerglings are there, Queens coming on out, so the Reaper, unfortunately, not going to do too much.
Trying to send these 2 Lings around to get to this SCV is going to cause Intense a little bit of problems, unless those 2 Marines are in the right spot at the right time. And they should be, actually. They should be, because Deadwing is such a huge map. They should be all right.
They'll be fine. Here they are, trundling out. I want to know what causes that fire coming out of the top of that just chunk of rock you were just on.
Wait, I'll have a look in a minute after I watch these 2 Zerglings get pushed away.
Oh no, they're not. They're going to YOLO it. Look at them go. Look at them go. Go, Zerglings!
Oh. Well, they saw
everything. The Marines even blocked the factory. That's annoying.
Oh, well.
Silly Marines.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, when you see a Reaper opening, you can kind of anticipate a little bit of what's going on because you know that there is already that first gas down, right? But at the same time, you kind of like to be able to see a second gas. Noticeably, he hasn't put too much into that second gas, so maybe he's going to divert his plans because obviously there was a tech lab in the starport going down. No, actually, he's going to go straight into all the gas. So, yeah. I mean, everything's been pretty much revealed here, and JonSnow gets a great little scout off in the end.
JonSnow's scouting is fantastic in general.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. And look at him even breaking down these rocks nice and early just to make sure there's not going to be any shenanigans. Like it a lot.
Everything looking good. Anyway, layer coming on down. No Zergling speed as of yet.
2 base muter.
Yep.
Nom nom nom. Do you think this is going to be able to do too much against Intense here with his build?
Well, he's going for a Banshee opening. So straight away he is cutting some of his Marine production. So he doesn't have as much anti-air there. He doesn't have an engineering bay as of yet. Obviously the Banshees then aren't going to be able to do much once the Mutalisks are down. There's always the potential, but Intense decides to go into mech. I'm vaguely remembering in the first qualifier he did go into mech. I could be wrong there though.
It's funny how this little force isn't really moving out too much. The 2 Marines that cleared the Watchtower and then rendezvous with this army, it's a little bit ambitious to have Marines do too much with this because they are so slow in comparison to these
Hellions are going in now though.
We're going to try and do something. He's already preparing the Spore Crawlers, but of course the Hellions did cause him a little bit of
they're actually doing quite a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're doing so much. There wasn't really a wall at the front with the Evolution Chambers. Obviously he was kind of putting all of his hopes and gas on the idea of this 2 base Spire play coming out. And there it is now on the way.
To be fair, those Hellions killed off 12 drones. That was really nice of them.
Yeah.
And that's before the Banshees even come over. Of course, the spores have been seen now, but the third base is still going to be vulnerable because it doesn't actually have any spores over there at the moment, so that can just get poked away at if nothing else. But yeah, the Spire hasn't been seen. However, 2 gases of the natural have been spotted. The main hasn't been scouted yet by Intense, but he's probably going to be wanting to keep an eye on that.
And Intense is going to actually be able to get away with the idea of this third base on spot because of the map, because it is so well defended, it's so far away, and realistically, you know, he's seen enough.
Oh, this Banshee, see the Spire, see the Spire!
I think he's going to get zoned out and pushed away.
That's okay. If the Spire had been seen, that would have caused so many problems. There are engineering bays coming on down, but note Intense, he hasn't been able to spot any of the gases in the main yet, so he doesn't know this is a 2-base muter. May suspect it by the slightly later third base, but still, this could catch him off guard. Oh, Banshee dead.
Oh, that's a nice pick off that.
Yep.
Very nice. So for now, Bailing Nest is the front here for JonSnow. One, serving a purpose to actually block off a little bit of this, but also, you know, he likes to have some of the general standard composition here. Still, the prolonged Hellion production, though, may catch him off guard for a second, because he doesn't really have too many Lings, but at least the Mutalisks will clean up, but this will keep them back. So, unless the 12 Lings themselves with Queens can do much, he really wants to get over there very fast with the Mutas, but this should buy a little bit of time for Missile Turrets to finish up.
He doesn't see the Mutalisks yet, but now we'll spot them. That's the scene he wants to get information of. So this is going to allow some missile turrets to come on down for Intent. Should buy him a bit of time. And JonSnow invested heavily in getting this 2-base muter play out. So without getting the element of surprise, with Deadwing being a very large map, there should be ample time for these missile turrets to finish on up.
They're still buying time. So yeah, tons of time. Tons of time. There is a missile turret actually going down to cover all the production as well, which I really, really like here for Intense. And we saw how well in American Cup #1, his kind of macro style was able to really hit good strides very, very quickly. So I'm expecting him similarly to, as long as he doesn't get supply blocks on this next round, I'm expecting him to do really well because of his third base being on spot, because of his income looking pretty darn good here against JonSnow.
And yeah, with these mutas just not really achieving anything as of yet, Intense is in a beautiful, beautiful position. JonSnow's drone count isn't particularly high. He's only at 57 drones to 60 SCVs. The Mutalisk flock is getting quite substantial, but yeah, the Marines are there. Second missile turret coming on through at this third base. It's going to be tough. The Banelings, though, could cause a bit more of a headache.
Yeah, JonSnow's really kind of getting aggressive with this. I'm kind of surprised. He doesn't have centrifugal hooks just yet, so he's going to be off creep against
That
him.
is a lot of Banelings.
Yeah, it is. He could actually, if he gets a favorable engagement on his side, then, like, if the Marines do not get split, for example, then great. But at the same time, there is all the room in the world for them to split because, again, centrifugal hooks is not done. He's just walking in. Is he just going to nuke this orbital command? He can't possibly do that.
He might just go for the workers.
Yeah, he's getting...
Oh, those are some nice hits. Getting quite a few worker kills. It's not the best in the world, but still the Banelings waddling on forward. They're going to go straight for the natural base now. The Marine count isn't particularly high, but those Banelings have all been taken out. There's 9 Marines left. The medevac's going to get cleaned up. The bunker going down. The Mutalisks actually have free reign.
Yeah, if he actually rallies Zerglings over here and gets on top of the production facilities, then there's only 2 Marines. There you go, GG. Bust, wow. That was, I wasn't really expecting that. I wasn't really expecting the idea of Ling Bane Muta kind of just straight bust, and then ultimately, when he kills off that much anti-air, how are you really going to be able to deal with those mutas actually sat on top of your production facilities? But, I mean, what was very evident there, if you looked at the third base, he wasn't taking the gases really very aggressively himself. So he didn't have too many long-term plans behind all of that. A cool play there from JonSnow to bust Intense there pretty early on.
And again, I'd say that was a game which didn't go ideally for him. He had the Mutalisk spotted and delayed in a heck of a long time, but going in a bit of a different trajectory to what maybe Intense was suspecting. Game number 2 should be coming up shortly. It's going to be on Overgrowth. So, again, a smaller 2-player map this time, as opposed to Deadwing. It should play out very, very differently. And of course, JonSnow is now 1 game up. If he wins this one, he has just 1 additional series to go through in order to get a spot in stage number 2.
Yep. Can you suggest... Oh, okay, there. I have an invite now. Okay, so yeah, Overgrowth will be second game. But overall, I think Intense has to be a little bit careful because the way in which JonSnow actually played that out, there was deception, right?
Yep.
On quite a few turns. So no match history, please. Good luck. Good luck.
We are. Yep, using.
Read. Alrighty, okay. Yeah, the way he played it there was deception, and Intense has to be a little bit careful about that because even though he got some good damage done with his Hellions, it's still, you know, JonSnow really was able to pounce at the opportunity. Really, really cool stuff. And again, it kind of comes back to the map in essence because it's so hard to build a wall at that third base when he's like also, you know, investing in whatever else he was investing in at that time. So anyway, let's get into it. Game number 2 on Overgrowth to find out if JonSnow is moving on or if Intense can tie it up, as we do have that pink tearing up to the top right-hand corner. It is Intense. And down to the bottom left-hand corner, currently 1 game up in this best-of-3 series, it is JonSnow.
I'm so happy. Are you going to do a different accent every time you...
That one wasn't really a different accent. That was just my normal accent.
It was slightly different. Slightly, a little bit.
Maybe.
Anyway, openings. Nothing crazy going on yet, so we're not going to be getting an 11-11 Proxy 2 racks, which is actually quite viable on this map. There's so many places you can hide it, it's irritating. It'd be quite a brave move doing that, though, when you're down a series. Or down a game in a series. There are people who do it, though.
Yeah, there are. And in the end, I think Intense, when we've seen him like power out macro games, I think he's looked pretty good. I think he has looked pretty good, and that's actually one reason why I do like casting this qualifier as well. You kind of glanced over it before. When you cast players that you don't necessarily know, then you get to kind of like learn together with people watching and see exactly what they're going to be doing. But also, just in general, I don't get that much opportunity to have a glimpse into the US scene. So it's nice to see players like Intense and kind of get to know them a little bit throughout this journey. So that's why I don't mind casting these qualifiers at midnight.
It's not even midnight anymore. It is 2:30 a.m. here.
Okay.
That's not actually too late, considering we went to like 5 a.m. yesterday.
Yeah, we've got the opportunity to actually finish up pretty speedily here if JonSnow takes this and then we get into the round of 4, because obviously once we're in the round of 4, there's really only one series left, along with Base Trade taking the other one as well. So, yeah, it's been pretty quick so far tonight. Been pretty quick.
Now, in terms of openers, we do have Intense just going for the Reaper, which is pretty much standard. Hatch first into the pool, into the pool rather, from JonSnow. So that's all good.
Yep. Should be able to be completely fine, getting that speed out nice and quick. Overall, it might throw the Reaper for a little bit of a loop if he's able to kind of throw that down fast and then take out of gas, because then it's a bit difficult to fully understand exactly when that speed has started up. But the Reaper is on the way now to poke across.
All looking good, really. 100 gas about to be hit for JonSnow, and that is when, of course, speed will get started. 6 Lings coming on down, actually. That's a fair investment in Zerglings. No, 1 drone being kept in that extractor.
Okay. So, pokes forwards. Sees the fact that speed is on the way, and there is just that 1 drone left in there. With the 6 Lings now on the way as well. So yeah, I think he can have a pretty good read on when speed's really started in this, and should be able to get out with that Reaper quite quickly off the back of just kind of poking around and really not doing too much, because realistically this Reaper should not really get anything as long as you're on top of your control as JonSnow. Yeah,
the Reaper can be irritating though. It just forces a bit of control, but yeah, with the Queens out, with speed, already a 3rd done. Yeah, this is looking very good for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, in terms of follow-up to this, Hellions are going to be coming out as always. The question is, are we going to be getting the Banshee in addition to that?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, with the way that the barracks has been on the way and the 2nd gas going down as well. So, good opportunity here for Intense to try and get a few Banshee kills. It was really his Hellions that were the MVPs of the previous game up until the point where he died. But other than that, for now, JonSnow just still keeping a look around.
He's grabbing more Lings out, actually. 8 more Lings in production here.
Oh, wow.
He did get some more drones after that, though. So it's not a massive commitment to Speedlings, but still a decent number, actually, just to try and shut down any Hellion play that may be coming. It can still be actually rather annoying, because at this stage there aren't many Hellions. So
Where are you going, Lings? Calm down, lads.
Bit overexcited.
Yeah. That's always ambitious when your opponent's going for the Hellion opener. But what he may do is he may catch these Hellions if he positions the Lings right. So, really does depend on how he's going to... Yeah, no. That's not the way to do it.
Those poor speedlings. They're so ambitious. They're so hyperactive.
Yeah. But they're not really going to get much done, sadly, for themselves. Banshee's on the way. And sadly... Oh, no. I was about to say he hasn't seen this up until the point where this Overlord starts poking on him. And does get the good read. Roach Warren. Ooh. Depends on how much supply really frees up from here on out. Because he could technically do something like Roachling Bayon attack. 3 Overlords on the way. Well, with the one that he's replacing...
Okay, 4 now the way.
Overlords.
Yeah, he's going to get quite a few roaches here now. And yeah, it's a good point, Klaus. Getting out those Overlords just means that there will be more of a commitment to roaches as opposed to just a couple coming out defensively. You only need like a very, very few roaches to deal with the Hellions alone. So,
well, 2 more drones just got added on as well. So, I mean, freeing up all of this supply in the end. Of course, he has to do it eventually, right? But and he's just making sure that this isn't really going to do too much at all. Especially since, did he actually see that it was Armory overall? I mean, I wasn't even aware that it was Armory. I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have been. But for now, he's going to be able to clean this up nicely because the roaches are there. He didn't see the Armory up to the top, I don't think. So.
Still, all of that taken down. The Banshee coming in. It does have Cloak. Able to finish off one of those Queens. 24 Lings coming on through. That is a lot of Zerglings. So this is only actually Speedling Roach. There isn't any Baneling Nest actually thrown down yet, so it's not going to be a Roach Bane all in. Third base is up and running. More drones coming in behind this as well. So it isn't a huge commitment, but this is still quite scary overall because 8 Roaches and 24 Lings, when there isn't really anything to defend it other than a couple of Banshee and Hellions, is a bit of a pain.
Yeah, and in the end though, you know, the Banshee opener is really, really good against this kind of thing. He really needs to repair that bunker though, and indeed he will. Mule doesn't need to be here, but yeah, it's a really, really nice opener. He should be able to shoot. Oh, jeez, okay. Traitor SCV almost let a load of Lings in there, but in the end, those Hellions should have been able to clean that up. And the Banshees have done wonderful work, wonderful work. So Retos's loss is very much so in Intense's favor right now.
Meanwhile, third base for JonSnow is in drone count, about to hit 60 there. His lair also nearly finished. But all in all, he produced a lot of Zerglings there and a lot of Roaches that didn't really achieve too much. This has delayed his evolution chamber substantially. 1-1 already on the way out for Intense here. And yeah, the Baneling Nest is also very delayed.
No, he didn't get an Overlord, didn't make a Viking. I thought maybe it was a Viking, but 3 Banshees over in this location to put on the pressure.
Is there even a Spore over here? Yeah, there is. Okay.
There is, yeah. But with the Cloak up, if the Queens come in a staggered formation, like, okay, so 3 of them are together, so it should be okay a little bit. One of those Banshees is in vision. Overseer comes along as well. Yeah, if they'd have come in like in a line, then he could have actually done something against that.
Oh, the Hellions over on the left-hand side are getting cleaned up.
Oh, did he actually kill so many of them?
Yep, he killed all of them.
He made a flood of Lings as well, so maybe he actually might push and try and bust after getting the Hellions. It might have been a provoking measure, but well, he's getting a few more drones again, so...
He does have the Baneling Nest now, so theoretically he can punch through that natural wall off, but... Also, has he seen the third? That's the only other thing which may have been... No, he hasn't seen it yet. It is, of course, floating over, so he'll be able to deny that for a heck of a long time, actually. These SCVs moving across need to be a bit careful, SCVs.
Oh, jeez. Well, Mineral War back, guys, because you're not going to get much done there. Oh, jeez. Oh, what a surround. Oh, that's brilliant.
And the supply depot is covered as well. That means that can't go back up. Quite a few SCVs are getting taken down here. This is nice work by these Speedlings. They are going to die. They're not going to win the game, but they pick up a lot of workers, a lot of units, and should also be able to force a lift at that third. Oh no, the third can't even go down. There's creep spread.
Oh, brilliant play here by JonSnow to get that surround overall. These 2 Banshees even having to be back at home to try and clean up, but because he just had no more units. He had a few Marines and 2 Marauders, and that's about it after that great surround had gone down. Lings got actually completely stuck, apparently, there for a second. But overall, JonSnow right now is sitting pretty. He's got his +1-1 about to finish. Really needs to catch up with that. And he's not too far behind 2-2, of course. So if we see 2-2 start for him instantaneously after this, he's not vastly behind, but
3-3, of course, is always where the problem comes, though.
Yeah.
So I'd say this is still anyone's game at the moment. Losing those workers was a bit infuriating. The creep spread is annoying. But all in all, this is still a very, very equal game at the moment. 4th place coming down for JonSnow is going to be nice, but look at this little move out, this cheeky little move of a couple of medevacs and decent amount of infantry coming across the map at the moment for intent.
Yeah, kind of cool. Will force a lot of units to be produced from here on out, but of course, at this point, JonSnow is up to his drone count that he really wants to be at. He's going to lose a few over on this right-hand side, though, if he's not careful.
The queens are over there, so they should be able to shut this down.
Yeah. Not quite keeping on top of that as much as he would like to. At least this movement out killed the creep off in the middle, which really was very, very important. He really doesn't want to be stretching up to that top left-hand corner as aggressively as it was. But overall, he didn't kill any of the active creep tumors on the right-hand side, where we're going to see JonSnow kind of defending all of his bases over there. So cleaning up on the left is nice, but cleaning up on the right would have been even nicer, I think. So he could get on top of juicy bases.
First few Mutalisks are coming on through as well now. Only 9 of them on the field at the moment, but 6 more just starting up into production. One Widowmine gets a nice little hit.
Was that on Lings? Oh.
I'm not... Let's have a look. No, it was on a Mutalisk. 1 Mutal died.
Oh, well. He's going to send...
Oh, be careful. Be careful.
That's a lot of army he has.
Yep.
He has a really big army. That one Widowmine actually got a few Lings during all of that. But in the end, if he chases him back onto his production, that's a lot of bio. The Banelings cannot compete with that just yet.
They back on out. The advanced drilling clause is also done. Oh, no, it's not actually. Never mind. Take that back. But yeah, this is annoying for Intense because he's got to be quite careful. The good thing is where he pushed back the creep earlier allows him a lot more safety when he starts pushing forward. He's also denying further creep spread as well. Engaging on creep isn't really something you ever want to be doing as Terrans, so this is nice.
So lucky. Those Banelings moving forwards, but into a Marauder minefield at the front, with all the Marines very well split at the back, so not exactly the best trades. But at the same time, the Mutalisks trying to do some damage over here. Okay, this is going to turn into a bit of a wonky situation. He needs the Mutalisks to be able to help defend, I think.
The Banelings are coming rolling on through, but look at the mines, the Marauders, they're blocking everything. Nothing really dying here for Intense. He is losing some back at home, but the reinforcements are doing quite a nice job. But there's just too many Mutalisks at the moment. Intense has also been quite careful here. If we take a look at the army for JonSnow, he does have a lot. The Banelings chilling in the back as well, and very, very nice.
Uh-oh. Interception. Intercepted! Ooh! Okay, that stutter step was a little bit off point there because he could have got maybe a few more volleys off than he did with just the one. But a Mutalisk fell. So... But overall, his gas income has almost been untouched. He has his gases up and running at this 4th base, and having that 7th and 8th gas geyser is super important to fuel the Baneling production against this kind of bioforce that's pushing through the left-hand side and really just going for the throat more so than anything towards that natural.
Again, this Bioforce trying to push on through. A decent amount of reinforcements coming across as well. The Mutalisks, though, are back to aid with this defense. Where's the Overseers? Here they come. Start picking off those mines would be just perfect, to be honest. So a couple of those just getting taken down. Picking off the mines really is quite important. Oh, be careful. The second one does detonate. That's a nice hit.
And overall, Baneling's actually rolling forwards on this right-hand side. Don't want to be going too far against that Marine Marauder production, but in the end, what's important is that 3-3 hasn't actually been started here for the bio, and he's feeling a little bit incentivized to go, but he doesn't want to be taking a bad engagement in any of these locations with the Widowmine still present.
Yeah, and actually engaging in any of those locations, the Zerg is going to be quite tough because the Terran player can just pull back, get a nice concave due to some slightly tighter areas. So, got to be careful. Drop coming down on the right-hand side. This is actually going to go undetected for a long time, which is exceptionally nice. Although the Mutalisks, are they actually going to see? No, not quite.
No. Well, they're going to try and head on into the main base, and there's actually still no missile turrets covering these add-ons, which is kind of annoying here for the Terran, so he's going to lose a few of them overall. But this little force down to the bottom right-hand side, if they can do something to distract for the main force on the left, that could be very nice. But he's not moving super aggressively with the main force on the left, so...
I think a lot of his attention there was on the Mutalisks, which of course are now going to try and intercept those double medevacs, be a little bit annoying. A couple of add-ons were taken down in the main production line, but All in all, JonSnow just staying on top of things at the moment.
2 medevacs on this left-hand side as well, knowing that the Mutalisks are probably heading over to that. And a big engagement in the middle of the map as well to try and kill off a few of these Marines with the Banelings. And in the end, JonSnow trying to hold on, but Intense is, well, he's doing what his name would suggest.
Loses one of those medevacs, unfortunately. But JonSnow not too bothered about this drop in the main. He's just pushing forward for the moment with his main army. Going to be able to grab quite a few SCVs, most likely. He's got 2-2 on these. Of course, the Mutalisks coming back. They're trying to engage into this drop, deal with it as best as possible. But the counter damage is very, very reassuring here. SCVs being forced off the third as well.
Yeah, and if you get some Baneling connections, that would be very, very nice. But this Bioforce looking to reinforce as well. Widowmines are going to have to burrow, but did they burrow even fast enough? They all die off before even anything can happen. And JonSnow has really ripped apart a lot of the army that we're seeing here from Intense. And he's even transitioning into Ultralisks as well. So he's going to go from one really difficult spot to another one very, very soon as Intense.
The trouble for Intense is that quite a few workers were actually picked off there. And yeah, with 3-3, actually ahead now for JonSnow. It's a situation you never really want to be in as a Terran up against Zerg. You should have 3-3 done before them, so being at an upgrade disadvantage at this later stage is very, very rare.
Yeah, especially since he's going to be going up against Ultras. I'm really surprised by this. Intense, he always has this like really nice macro going into the later stages of this matchup, but then I don't know what happens against JonSnow here. I don't know why the 3-3 wasn't on as quick as possible.
The Banelings are going to go straight into the third, and there's nothing there. Oh, the Banelings.
Well,
they're going to have such a good time.
Intense here, looking to try and hold on to this gold base, add on some missile turrets or whatever, but he's going to swing in with these Banelings on either side of the mineral line, and ouch.
Much ouch.
Didn't we see Intense actually go down in the first America Cup to a lot of Banelings before, but then somehow claw it back?
I think we did, actually.
Yeah. But against JonSnow here, I think that's going to be a little bit more difficult, because right now JonSnow is playing brilliantly.
He's got his opponent down to just 31 SCVs, up to the 69 he's got. The Ultralisks are out. They've got they've got +3-5, actually, thanks to the glorious chitinous plating upgrade.
So it's he's basically being run ragged now. I mean, there was the 2 Intense.
The Emil
there you go. GG. JonSnow advances on to the round of 4, and that means now he is 1 series away from moving on to the Stage 2 qualifier, where 3 people will go to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose. But overall, JonSnow, in this qualifier at least, is looking mighty, mighty good for one of those spots.
He is. He's going to be going off against either Bells or Gosu user in that final round for one of those spots in stage number 2. On the other side of the bracket, as I frantically refresh it up, Moose Skills and Believe is still ongoing according to that. And so is Caliber Fog. That seems to be a bit delayed in the round of 16, actually, delaying the game for boys. So not quite sure what's going on there, but we will try and find out.
Yeah, sure stuff. All right, so we're going to go to a short break, guys. And then when we're back, we're going to have, hopefully, our round of 4 series from the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose qualifiers.